Welcome to the show! Kick off your shoes, grab a cold drink, and let's hang out. Holy cow, it's new episode Wednesday again already? Time is just flying by. How's it going, guys? Let's hang out. Welcome back. Another topic to bring up this week. First gonna just be upfront and honest with you guys about a few things. So, if you guys are following any of the socials, you've probably noticed that I haven't been posting as much as normal when we have new episodes coming up. The short explanation to that whole situation is that I kind of fell behind on things after the last few updates. I'd gotten so far ahead. I just didn't keep up with it as much as I should have, and that's on me. I own that 100%, you guys. But that's also part of today's topic, is just having so much that I want to do and not having the time to do it. And really just kind of seeing how you guys feel about things like that, because there's a lot. Like, my wish list of things that I wish I could be doing is so stupidly long. And it was the other day I was on my Facebook page, and somebody had made a post. Somebody made a comment somewhere. I can't remember who it was, and I really wish I would have made the note of it. But somebody had made the comment that they have so many things they wish they could do and not enough time to do it. And someone else followed up with, you're always going to have a list of things you want to do and never enough time. So find the things that you are most passionate about and focus on them, because trying to do all of your hobbies, all of your things you want to do, is going to drain you. And it's something about it hit. And I know it sounds super simple, super cliche, but it really did. That's what really made me start thinking about this in this episode in particular. So before we dive too far in, let's get all the tags and hashtags and all that stuff out of the way early, like we've been trying to do with episodes, and get back on the ball with things. So if you guys aren't following, you can find us on all the social networks at Letshangoutpod. Same tag, same handle, same everything. Twitter, or X as it's referred to now. Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Spotify, obviously, where we're housing our audio, and hopefully in the very near future video. Some big news on that in the next episode. Just everywhere you guys look, at Let's Hang Out Pod. Use the hashtag Let's Hang Out Pod to continue the conversation beyond the episodes. This particular episode, we're going to use special hashtag Not Enough Time. Pod Not Enough Time. So, let's get into things, and not having the time to do the things we want to do. And it sucks. There's that moment when you're doing so many projects, when you have so much you want to do, and you get yourself so motivated to do them, and then you can't. Just something comes up and you can't do them, you know? So in my case, let me give you guys a great example of recent here. So you guys already know about the podcast, obviously you're listening to it, and this is something that I really have put a lot of effort into. I have been trying as hard as I can to stay focused and to keep up on things. And on top of that, I'm trying to revive is maybe not the perfect word here for this, but I'm trying to revive my streaming projects that I used to do on Twitch. If you guys haven't been following me for long, or just finding the channel, going into things, my original goals in life, coming out of high school, coming into the real world, I really wanted to get into streaming, and that was back when streaming was just starting to take off, when it was still building the foundations of what we have now today. And I was always just kind of behind the marker where everybody wanted to be. Technology was advancing faster than I could afford to keep up with it. I was starting my family, so I made the decision to focus on family versus chasing that dream. But I never really let it go. And that's kind of where the whole not having enough time to do those things comes into play, and that's really early on in my stage. As a teenager, as a kid in school, we all run into that situation. You have so many things you want to do and not enough time to do them. Whether that was sports, extracurricular activities like clubs, music, whatever. There was so much that you wanted to do, and you had after school, before bed, or you had a weekend, and you had to figure out how to balance it out. And sometimes that involved your parents helping you get to and from places, and so on. So really early on, we get that first real focus on like what you enjoy doing and not having the time to do it. Now for me personally, there was a lot I wanted to do. My friends and I, when we were in school, Jackass was just starting to come out. And I know the whole thing, you guys don't need to tell me the warning, please do not do these stunts at home. it wasn't like that. We weren't trying to recreate Jackass, but that was the thing. It was like the pushing the boundaries of what was socially acceptable. And I had a group of friends of mine that we were kind of like, oh, well, might be able to do like this kind of stuff, and maybe not so much of the really dirty, grotesque stuff that they do or did at that time, but a stupid challenge thing, and kind of like what the viral challenges are nowadays. And we were going to start doing that, and we could never get the time to do it because we had everybody else doing activities, a couple guys doing sports, some guys doing music and having performances, and just nonsense. So that was kind of the early thing for us. Again, going back to my streaming was something that I wanted to do, and I really tried to focus on it and kind of like build up what I wanted to do when I finally got to that stage. And for me, it was a slow build. So I started putting things together, getting things in place so that way when I was able to stream that I could do it. I was building up my tech, I was building up all my resources. I'd started early with podcasting with my best friend, and that's where I got my first microphone, webcams, things like that, And that was the passion project leading up to what we do now. So on top of getting all that stuff built up, there was the other things I wanted to learn how to do, other hobbies that I had picked up over time. My resin work, model building, woodworking that I was trying to pick back up after high school, and just so many things. And there just was not enough time. It really wasn't. Between my first and second kid, we had a little bit of time to kind of just explore like our relationship, myself and my wife, and sort of pick up some of those hobbies again. And then after the second kiddo, we had a little bit more time. Life was giving us a chance to kind of figure things out. I was able to build up more things towards my hobbies, more not necessarily tools in all regards, but just like getting the groundwork in place to do the things that I wanted to do. But there just was never enough time to give them 100% focus. And coming into the last few years with things, having a bunch of stuff kind of put in front of me that you don't plan for. I had a bout with cancer that came up and completely derailed things at the busiest point of my life. I had a back issue which immobilized me for a majority of a year and made doing basic things impossible, and just continually had things that happened and would slow things down, and again would take more of that time away. But as I sit here and work on this podcast and work on my other projects, I don't necessarily feel bad for not having enough time, because I look at the things that I did put my time into and how much they really mean to me. My family, my wife and kids, number one. I would not ever, ever, ever change the time that I've given to them. They deserve every minute that I can give them while I'm on this earth, and to put a project before them just isn't something I can do. But looking at the things that you love doing, and looking at the projects that you really want to put the effort into, and focusing there, it makes that lack of time make more sense. It makes it more valuable. So with this, let's talk this podcast for a minute. Like I said at the beginning, I didn't have time. The last few weeks have been absolutely jam-packed, weekend to weekend, stuff going on. Midweek projects with the kids, weekend projects and trips with the wife and family, just all kinds of stuff. And now we're getting into the tail end of summer, so we're getting back into school, the whole school routine. I've got my Munchkin going into kindergarten. She's got a Jumpstart program coming up. My son with his sports coming up. My middle child with her adventures going on, wrapping up the summer here. Just everything. So again, not enough time to do the things that I wanted to do, and not enough time to do all the family stuff that I wanted to do. But the things that we have done, and the things that we do plan to do, have been so much more impactful. Coming up here, at the time of this recording, we're going to be leading into a big event that I look forward to every year, which is the Extra Life Tabletop Gaming Weekend. And that's a big one because as a family, we play a lot of tabletop games. We play all kinds of card games, board games, everything from Scrabble and Yahtzee all the way on up to Cards Against Humanity, Here to Slay, Unstable Unicorns, etc. So this weekend is my opportunity to focus on my fundraising and to get my family involved. Last year I wasn't able to do very much because of just, again, the limitations with what I could do. I ended up sitting at my desk building puzzles because that was the only place I could sit and do anything, and even that, for the 2 hours that I tried to stream, was some of the most excruciating work I've done for charity. And it wasn't because of the stress that the charity work did, it was just the sitting and having to sit in place to do that and build that puzzle. So this year is my redemption time. It's for me personally, it's a redemption time. And at that same note is realizing that in order for me to succeed with that and to do the best stream that I can do, I need to prepare. And to prepare, I've had to give up a few things. I've had to stop a little bit of my streaming during the week to work on things, to get things in line. This podcast, again, I've had to put that to the side a little bit, on top of all the other stuff we have going on with the family. So it happens. The big message here is that you're always going to run into that situation of not having enough time to do all the things you want to do. Now, I know everybody's got their own passion projects out there, and I see you guys, family and friends that I see, and you guys doing your projects and stuff, I see that, and I can feel it. I feel you guys getting stressed out because you have all these extra things you want to do to be successful, especially with the business side of things. Some of you guys that are running the businesses as a passion project, I get it. Between making your products, selling your products, going to expos and whatever else, markets to sell them, finding the time to balance that, family life, and all your other hobbies you want to do. Just remember that it's worth it. The time you put into your projects that you really enjoy, and hopefully you're enjoying it as a business, it'll pay itself back to you. That hobby is going to return all of that time invested to you with so many good things. Now the hard part, the one thing to remember too with all of this, and specifically talking again lack of time, is that you can waste more time trying to make things happen instead of evaluating the situation and deciding what is possible in the time frame you have. Don't make the mistake to sit there and dwell on trying to figure out how to squeeze 25 things into a few hours in your day, because it's not going to make anybody any happier. It's not going to make anything any easier. You're going to stress yourself out and you're going to drain yourself in the process of trying to do so much. And it's those moments, again, where I've been there, where I want to tell you guys, just remember, take it easy, do what you can do. Don't force yourself to do something, because then you're going to create negative energy around the thing you enjoy doing, and it's not going to be your best work. It's not going to be something you truly enjoy. So take the time to plan, take the time to figure out what you can do. And if not having enough time means that you take more time to plan, chances are the thing you finally get to do is going to be amazing. So this example, another one to help you guys out, make you feel a little bit better about things. This one is a recent one because it's currently happening right now while I'm recording this. We've been trying to get my kids together with a friend of theirs they haven't seen in years. He ended up moving to Texas, they haven't seen each other, and this weekend they came into the Pacific Northwest where we are. A little bit of travel for us to get them to get together, but we'd been planning for them to get out there, and it was a long drive. So my wife offered, hey, I know you're a little behind on your stuff, how about I take the kids and you can stay and get yourself caught up. So in the world and situation that we're in right now of not having time to do the stuff I wanted to do, and having that support and having that person who was able to help me out and see the things going on, she knows that it's going to eat me alive to not be there and be spending time with them on this trip. But it's not so much for me and the family as it is for the kids to get together with a friend. And that's where the compromise had to come into play, and that's the reason I'm here doing the recordings, why I'm working on this. You figure out a way to make it work. And it's not always going to be the ideal situation. Again, I would love to be there because it's such a beautiful place they're going to. But having the opportunity to get caught up and to have my wife see that I needed to get myself caught up, to follow my dreams and chase my passion projects and chase the things that I want to do. It was the same kind of support that I've given her over the years for her education, working for her bachelor's and master's, and advancing her professional life and her skills and things like that, and just being there to support each other to get through this stuff. So even though we don't have the time to do everything we wanted to do, the things we need to do, we are 100% supporting each other. We have each other's back, and we really we know. Sometimes it's not even communicating to figure it out, because I didn't say anything. I didn't suggest anything to her about this, to stay home and work on this stuff. She came to me and made the suggestion to stay and get myself caught up and get myself ahead. So I'm taking all that time. I'm working on the podcast. I'm getting things going. I'm working on graphics. I'm working on fundraising stuff. Because I don't want to waste the time that I have that she's given me and the opportunity that she's presented to me. Because it's time I didn't think I was going to have. So my advice to you guys, find those moments. Find those nuggets of time that you didn't think you were going to get and use them. But that comes into play with the planning. Have a plan going into what you need to do. Have a plan of the things you want to do, how you're going to accomplish them, so when these pockets of time happen for you to do those things, you can jump right in, no hesitation, and get right into it. So what about you guys? I would love to hear the things that you are currently working on that maybe you don't have enough time to get to all the little details you want to. But what is it you are working on that you are passionate about right now and you are putting that time into? What are the things that are making you feel so good right now that you wish you could put more time into them? And it could be anything. It could truly be anything. It could be a hobby, a project, business, family, whatever. I want to know what you guys are doing that you wish you had more time for. You guys, I appreciate you coming by and checking things out every week. Things are going to get a lot more productive here very soon. Kids going back to school, which means I'll have a little bit more time during the day, among other things. And if that changes, I'll definitely let you guys know ahead of time. But we'll get back on top of things. A lot of stuff's going to start rolling out more frequently on a regular basis. I am taking every opportunity I get to prepare and to improve and to do it for this project. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and I will get to my goal with you guys. We will make this journey together. So again, you guys, follow the socials. I'll keep you up to date on what's going on. English is hard today, man. Woo! Follow the socials. I'll keep you up to date on what's going on. We'll keep the information going. A lot of stuff going on. Again, right after this episode comes out and going into that weekend, which would be August 18th, 19th. Extra Live Tabletop Weekend. If you guys are following my personal channels, my streaming channels, I would love to see you guys out there. I'd love to get the support. We are working towards a $500 fundraising goal. Anything helps from everywhere. Every dollar matters. It's helping sick kids at OHSU Dornbeckers in Portland, Oregon. The support is very much appreciated. You guys supporting this podcast is very much appreciated beyond words. I cannot thank you enough for even just listening for a little bit. But thank you guys. That's it for today. I'll catch you on the next episode. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you a lot sooner than you think, guys. Take it easy.